my UST. Thank you for coming to our live show. I really appreciate it. I'm somebody who is interested in starting a career in cybersecurity. I've conducted a lot of research, and what's on the street is that AI is replacing or will replace cybersecurity in the future. And that makes sense to me though, because look at what AI is doing. It has really affected a whole lot of different sectors or IT branches, right? And is it a wise choice to switch to cybersecurity? Will AI really replace cybersecurity? Knowing that you are a cybersecurity expert, a mentor, and a coach, and you've helped a lot of people start their cybersecurity journey or careers, please, can you just share more light on this? That way I can know better. I'm happy to be here. And that's a good question though. A lot of people have asked me same questions, and they are right, because if you look at what AI is doing, who today is not using AI? If you are not using AI, then I don't know, right? So seen a lot of things that AI does, and you are right, it has really affected like some sectors. But when it comes to cybersecurity, the thing that I always ask people or tell them is that cybersecurity is a broad term with over 8 domains. Okay, it's true that AI has really affected some IT branches, right? And there are also areas in cybersecurity that AI will affect. But there are areas in cybersecurity that AI will generate more job opportunities, right? If we have time, I'll definitely explain or break this down for you. First, we want to start by understanding what exactly is cybersecurity. Like, what is cybersecurity? People need to understand, right? Initially, before I even got into the sector, I felt like you need to be a hacker, you need to know how to write or develop codes, name it, right? But the thing is, we have a video on our YouTube channel that we cover the core or basic principle of cybersecurity that we might put on this video and encourage you and anybody trying to kickstart their cybersecurity journey to go watch the video. The concept of CIA TRIA. Cybersecurity actually center on this main concept. Understanding this concept and relating them with vulnerability, threats, and risks, literally that is it, right? It's a protection of asset. What kind of asset? But let's focus on the question, will AI replace cybersecurity? Simply put, no. And this is why I'll say AI will not replace cybersecurity. AI in cybersecurity terms is an information system. Talking of information system, anything that processes, collects, or house data, right? For example, Facebook is an application, it's an information system. WhatsApp is an information system. Instagram is an information system. But the question here is, what kind of data does this information system house, processes, or collects? Okay, so AI actually possesses a lot back of information, right? A lot of information. Cybersecurity actually focuses on ensuring that those information are being protected, they are being kept confidential, make sure that only rightful users can access those information. Also make sure that data will be available at any given point in time. Come to think of the latest, I don't know if you are aware of the latest CrowdStrike global outage. Availability was affected in a big time, and it also resulted to financial loss, which is a form of risk, right? And that's why, again, I'll say that if you are somebody trying to get started in cybersecurity, you need to understand some of these basic yet fundamental principles of cybersecurity, and we have them on our YouTube channel, right? So understanding this whole aspect, knowing that organization or AI is an information type, it's an information system that collects, processes, or store different information. But the question here is, now we start talking about different regulatory authority. I don't know if you must have heard of a regulatory authorities, but now we start talking of different regulatory authorities like FISMA for the US government or agency, but anybody can adopt it. FedRAM, these are on acronym. GDPR for European Unions, PCI DSS for financial sector, High Trust HIPAA for a healthcare system. So you have all of these regulatory authorities that make sure organizations have all it takes or implement security control enough share to better protect our data, to better protect your information, and to better protect my information, right? So start thinking of AI. Companies are bringing AI, right? AI, people are using AI. People are like, it just has to do with data, right? Depending, again, I have to use it interchangeably, data or data. I'm from Cameroon, West Africa, so apparently, I'm gonna use it interchangeably. So think of the fact that this organization brings the AI and is processing this different information. Question we might ask is, what kind of regulatory authority does our organization adhere to? Come to think of a situation where an AI or an organization actually processing data here in the US and also in Europe, which by default, if you are processing or collecting a European citizen data, then by default you have to adhere to GDPR standard or regulatory authority that has to do with the different publications. I don't want to go in depth, okay? So with AI, that's just a breakdown about information type or information system. So think of all this older information system. Think of all the possible data that particular tool is going to be housing. There are situations where an AI, a lot of information where that particular just one information type has to adhere to different regulatory bodies or authorities. GDPR, HIPAA, PCI DSS if it has to do with like some form of financial transaction, or if possible FISMA or FedRAM. Now you get. So on the flip side, you have area or domains like the SOC analyst in cybersecurity. Those are the areas that AI possibly affect because it has to do with more automation. It has to do with the fact that when you have different incidents coming in, those tools can easily detect it, they can easily respond to it and take care of it, right? Just to reduce that human effort, right? Because you have a lot of incidents coming. And don't forget that this particular area in cybersecurity or domain, a lot of companies literally outsource it to offshore, right? For cheaper level. Right, because they are the backbone, they are monitoring the network, they are resolving whatever incident that comes. For example, an incident might be, say, a company have their policies or controls in place that says that if you try to log into your account, like in 3 successful or unsuccessful attempts, you've been locked out. When something like that happens, believe me or not, it's been registered as an incident, and they have different tools like Splunk, I don't want to go in depth, but again, different tools that those folks or the SOC analysts can see it as an incident and then they resolve it. Or maybe your company has a policy that all employees have to work in the US, and for some reason maybe you move abroad, maybe you go to Canada or any other country. If you're trying to maybe log in from there, it will also, you have a new IP address that will be generated and they will also receive it from the back end. Or better still, we saw in the case where a lot of people were laid off when they were using like the remote mouse jiggler, putting something like that, of which is not covering your security policy. Again, it's being registered as an incident and they have to investigate it. But the truth is, these are all incidents that, it comes, they resolve it, but you do not see the actual risks that organization is being faced or has, okay? Or have, sorry. So these are all different aspects or this section in cybersecurity that AI can literally affect, right? It comes with automation. They want to reduce, the number of, incidents that the folks are experiencing. But 60% of cybersecurity, which is the heart and the core of cybersecurity, has to do with compliance. And I will break it down. Okay, so talking about compliance has to do with the fact that organizations actually adhere to all the different regulatory authority that we have mentioned. And come to think of the fact that you or compliance folks will see the actual risks that the organization has, right? For example, we are scanning, Vulnerability scan is even automated, but you have to see the different vulnerability that they have, right? But when it comes to creating policy, that's not something that AI would do. We have tools that will help you like come up with template, but you see how you need to have all humans to be able to develop this policy. And don't forget, with that policy, there's no organization. Policy are written documents that tells you what an organization does, right? And yes, security folks are the ones that manage and keep this policy. So if there's no policy, there's no organization, because you need to have something in place, right? And come to think of the fact that policies are dependent on security controls. So in a nutshell, policies are dependent on security controls. So cybersecurity again has to do with those proactive measures. Security control are proactive measures put in place to protect organization assets. All right. So when they will need humans to develop these policies, they will need humans to be able to, first of all, identify the type of data that AI is collecting. Believe me or not, they might have different type of data, different data types. So we need humans to be able to identify and categorize this data type and come with an impact level for those data types. And talking about this impact level, we have another videos that talk about categorization of information system. For example, AI is an information system. How do you identify all the information types that this particular organization or information system actually house? And that's where you first of all start by categorizing, identifying all the information type and categorizing them, coming out with an impact level. That video literally explains everything. So once you come with that impact level, then you need to determine the type of security controls that goes to that system. And it comes now with implementation. Again, security, we have to follow with the technical and respective teams to make sure these controls are implemented, and come back with continual, assessment, assessing those controls. And let's not forget user awareness training. You have this user actually, managing the AI. Are they receiving training? Because again, these are all mandatory things that regulatory body have making mandatory for organization to do. And you would definitely need humans to be able to follow up and ensure that those controls are being implemented and they are working effectively, right? And let's not also forget the fact that, yes, I know somebody might tell me they do have like compliance scan or policy scan where you literally scan the controls to see if they're effective. Yes, you do, but still you have it in place. What happened to those technical control that you need to test? And it's not something that once you've implemented your control, that is it. No, it's a continual monitoring effect. We need to keep doing that over and over and over again. Actually, artifacts, test results, they do expire. So we need to go back, continually doing it, assessing those controls, capturing those artifacts, following up with the respective team to make sure that those controls are being implemented, and still developing our policy. And what if maybe there's some form of migration or something changed? You also have to update your policy to reflect what you have in that particular information system. And let's not also forget that AI also, a lot of companies do not have their customized tool. They have to rely on another vendor, a company that actually manufacture the AI for their business to run smoothly, like the case of CrowdStrike and Microsoft. There's another question. You will also need a set of third-party vendor risk analysts to come in and be able to assess this vendor, to be able to collect those artifacts. Somebody might tell me, yes, you have different GRC tool that streamline the processes, but GRC tool is not going to analyze SOC 2 Type 2 report. GRC tool is not going to analyze a lot of those templates. It will simply tell you they've uploaded it, but you still need a human effort or intervention to be able to analyze and actually conduct or perform their due diligence and decide if they want to go with this particular vendor or not. And it doesn't end there, because even when you onboard the vendor, you still have to fall back on the common process. And before even bringing in a vendor, you also want to be able to identify, is it a high-risk vendor or is it a low-risk vendor? You get? So these are all the kind of questions or things that compliance as a whole, it will never go away. And guess what? Compliance actually stays with that country. It stays with that organization. There's just no way an organization will outsource that area in security, because again, they call the shot. The supervisors all the different branches in IT. Security is integrated from the very first step of system development lifecycle to the point of getting into production. Supply chain, name it, you get. And let's not also forget the fact that you have this regulatory authority that, again, their version definitely changes, right? For example, we have the new NIS 853, right, revision 5. Initially, we have Rep 4. So come to think of the fact that organizations that adhere to the FISMA or FedRAM regulatory bodies, they have to go in with NIS publication, especially 853, that literally covers all the security controls. And we have a new publication. Companies are trying to migrate to the new publications. It comes with a whole lot of new changes where they've consolidated some security controls, they've incorporated them into some, they've added 2 control families, right? AI is not going to do that for you. You need human intervention, human efforts to be able to do it. So you have roles like the security control assessor, third-party vendor risk analyst, information security specialist, anything actually compliance related. It stays with the country, it stays with the organization, it's not going anywhere. If somebody tells you that it's going somewhere, know that they lie to you. And that's a point where, yes, AI is great. AI comes with automation. AI actually streamlines the processes. But now, come to think of the fact that it increases job opportunities from compliance perspective, because that's a new information system that they've brought. Then come to think, if that information system is housing data, different data types, and depending on, you know, the type of data that it actually houses, maybe they have to be in compliance with different regulatory authorities. Do you know how many security folks they will need just to ensure that particular information system stay in compliance? And not forget the fact that you also have external auditors coming in to make sure that you guys are in compliance. Don't forget the fact that you have internal auditors or assessors trying to make sure you guys are still in compliance. Don't forget the fact that your organization is also trying to get certification for that particular AI for them to be, because you have a lot of competitors, right? How do you also maintain and achieve and maintain the certification? So in a nutshell, looking at everything, I just laugh when people say AI is going to replace cybersecurity. You need to be able to understand all the dots and what security eventually entails. Then you realize, you know what, compliance, actually, there's more job than you think. There are plenty of jobs, right? I know this is a little bit lengthy, but I just needed to break this down. That way people can get an overview on what this whole thing is all about. Wow, thank you so much. That's a whole lot. You know, this literally changed my perspective and what I had in mind all along. Right, this really makes sense. So for someone who is trying to get started in cybersecurity, how are you going to guide this person? I know you put your flyer out there that, you guys flyer that you people have like a free consultation coming up on August 16 at 7 p.m. Friday. That's next week Friday, August 16 at 7 p.m. Central Time. So what are some of those things that you're really going to cover, to again help someone like me who is trying to get into the cyberspace and eventually get jobs? Because you could tell, with a plethora of information out there, it's just like everyone is confused, right? We don't even know what we are doing. I, for one, don't even know what I'm doing. You receive information from this side. This person is telling something. Someone is telling something. At the end of the day, you really don't know what you're looking for, right? So can you just actually just provide more hints as to what would it? Well, yes, you're right. Actually, it's a free consultation because we've realized that, again, people are really confused. People receive information, people telling them, again, the internet is vast. You can get information from anywhere, and that's why we further need to be able to educate people, of which we've educated a whole lot, right? Just to change the narrative or to debunk some of these myths in starting a career in cybersecurity. Yes, so what we're gonna do again is just to go through some of this concept, go through the different domains, see and tell people that you do not need to be a tech savvy to start a career in cybersecurity. And talking from my own perspective and my own experience, I'm someone that have a bachelor degree in zoology, And for me to get into cybersecurity, I'm doing very well. Just to tell them that if you understand security controls, I tell you what, you are good to go. Security control is very vital. And of course, we provide hands-on training for our students that they have to do it, they have to present, they have to talk. We have successful rates, right? So just to go through some of these concepts and be able to tell them, you know what, cybersecurity again is still a big part of IT. Cybersecurity is highly in demand. It's not only a national or nationwide issue, it's actually a worldwide issue, right? A lot of countries are still in need of cybersecurity professionals to help them, you know, better protect their assets. And compliance again is a big thing, and that's where again, so this whole free consultation live on YouTube is just to educate the public as to what, you know, cybersecurity is all about, the different domains and what they can do to get their career going, right? So we can't wait for you to come, spread the word much. Wow, I can't wait to I'll definitely share it with my contacts, you know. Thank you, but I appreciate your time. Man, this is a lot of information. Imagine how many minutes is it. If you are able to explain all of these, then I can just imagine what you're gonna dish out on your live session coming up on the 16th into next week, Friday, 7 p.m. Central Time. Wow, but I really want to thank you again. As I said, I have a change of mind and I can't wait to start, you know, your next cohort. I believe you said something like next year, January. I would definitely start it, but just having you explain this concept. So thank you so much again for having me. And if you've not subscribed, our handle is at UST2, at UST2. Just go there. We have a whole lot of good videos. Again, as I said, we have videos where we did a comparison analysis, you know, among the different IT branches. That's something that you all can watch. And then categorization of information systems, selection of control, to the point of even going in depth and talking about privacy threshold analysis, which has to do with the Privacy Act, how your information is better protected, right? So these are some of the things that, again, we have a lot of good videos on our YouTube channel that you just need to subscribe, watch, and don't forget to give a thumb up, guys, for more educative videos. And if you find this video interesting, just give a thumb up, subscribe, and share it with your friends. But we cannot wait to see you all on Friday the 16th at 7 p.m. Central Time. Come, let's have fun together. Bye, and thank you once more for having me. Bye.